Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Breakdown. I'm Andy Newberry with Jonathan Hull, and we didn't think they'd do much against the Patriots. I think offensively they did even less than I thought they'd possible.
Yeah,
it was just one check down after another,
which is what it has been. But when you're playing against a team like the Patriots, and they scheme so well that they always will, love them or hate them, Bill Belichick, his defenses, his offenses, they're going to be one of the best prepared teams in the league, period, when you play them. So if you're incapable of doing anything else, if your offense is that predictable, you're going to run on first down, and you're going to check down on every other passing play.
And what they immediately did was bring an inside backer over there. They bracketed Witten on key plays. And so he wasn't going to get the ball. Beasley was having trouble getting open. And they was like, what are you going to do?
I think that's the most telling thing I heard from the press conference was with Brandon Weeden. And they were talking about, did you not see anything down the field with your receivers? He said, well, they were really focused on not letting us get the ball to Witten, to number 82 and number 11, which is Witten and Beasley. And Terrence Williams isn't even mentioned in this conversation anymore. Yeah. Terrence Williams has just become that much of an afterthought.
Part of it also is Terrence Williams may be even with a guy, and Romo will let the ball go and let you try to win that ball.
Yeah,
or or Dez definitely wins those balls.
For Dez,
but the good quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers throws lots of balls when they're covered like this.
Yeah,
and Weeden doesn't trust himself. No. He does not trust himself. He's waiting for you to be open, and you're not going to be open in the pros all the time. And so they're limited. Everybody wants Castle now.
They do,
and I think they'll get him. I think
at some point it won't.
I think the owner may want Castle now.
Yeah, he might. It won't shock me if Whedon's the starter come week 7. Just because
it's going to be a real tight leash,
but it's going to be a very tight leash. Yeah, it'll be a short leash where he'll be pulled. And
I think it'll be Castle. I could be wrong, but I think in the next few days or before Monday, we will hear that Castle's starting. I don't think that changes it a lot, but they almost have to open it up no matter who's playing and try some downfield passes. I mean, at some point in that Patriot game, it's like, who cares if it gets intercepted? At some point, you're going to
want to try it.
You're just going to lose 30-6 if we just sit there and. But before we get out of this, I wanted to say the other side. Bill Belichick and the Patriots, they're not about getting their quarterback hurt.
No.
They're not sloppy with their game plans. They came in, knew what they were facing, and that Cowboy defensive line dominated them in pass situations.
Yeah, Greg Hardy made a huge difference.
I mean, they just pushed him around early.
Yeah, you saw why there was
5 times.
Despite the off-the-field trouble, you saw why there was a bit of a bidding war on Greg Hardy this offseason. He's a difference maker, and he could not.
And he was only in there some of the snaps. They were still getting a pretty good push on like 3rd and 5s and 6s, even when he wasn't in there.
DeMarcus Lawrence, you saw him getting
was
more.
back too.
Mincy was getting Tyrone Crawford. I think he had a sack.
Had a push up the middle.
Yeah, and then Rolando McClain comes back and he has a sack on a blitz.
So that defense I thought was really, really good. And if we were dealing with a normal offense, I think the Cowboys win that game.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a guy like Byron Jones, the rookie, who matches up with Rob Gronkowski.
Held up pretty well, except for one drive.
One drive, that's it. And I think Gronk finished with 67 yards. Well, that's not a lot for Gronk.
No.
So give them a lot of credit.
Now, Donnie Victory went and talked to him in his locker personally, and he said his eyes just lit up when he talked about when the coaches entrusted him with that responsibility of guarding Gronk. So I think they may have a player on their hands there.
I do too.
I mean, still some learning. There'll be some plays he gives up, but he's good.
Yeah, it's going to make him a lot easier. The secondary's actually played pretty well, all things considered, sometimes in the season. But
quickly around the NFC, I think the Cardinals go out with another dominant win, bounce back from their loss. I think they showed they're pretty good. The Rams actually played the Packers closer in that score. They missed some field goals and threw an interception. But the Packers and the Cardinals look like 1 and 2, and the Falcons are kind of moving up right there.
I think they're getting close to being the number 3. I think the Falcons are selling me. Running game's impressive. Matt Ryan's been very good. Julio Jones was banged up in this game, and they were still able to do something. And offensively, they're real good. Defensively, they still got some big holes.
So the Giants and Eagles both get wins in the NFC East. Games they were supposed to win, but they did win them.
Yeah.
And then they play this week, right? Giants and Eagles.
They do.
So that to me, that's an interesting game.
That's going to be a bit of a separation, and you see how real the Eagles might be, how real the Giants might be. The Giants are 3-game winning streak out starting 0-2.
The good news for the Cowboys, they don't get anybody hurt this week on their bye. So we'll come back next week and preview their next game, talk about the NFC and who's maybe looking good for the Super Bowl.